Okay, after I go through this, for cover this, is also just a few slides only on document design. I will go to give you, I plan to give you, let you have a look at your progress report afterwards in your own groups. Yeah? You go into your channels and I'll give you some feedback lah on your progress report. Yeah. And so that it's not for you to do correction, no need to do correction. It's just to highlight something so that you can you keep that in mind when you're doing your proposal writing. Yeah. So, but you will do that in your chat group lah. I mean, in your channels lah. But we'll do it on video lah. Easier to talk lah, rather than to write. I mean, rather than to chat using text. So after this lah, right? After this, you all go back to your, and then on any other questions lah that you want to ask regarding your proposal. Okay, how's your proposal writing coming along? In fact, if you check Spectrum, the Turnitin submission for proposal is already open. It's already open today, but you have until next week, next Tuesday, 19. Next Tuesday, 19. Right? Next Tuesday is 19 to submit lah. I mean, that's a cut-off time lah. Before midnight lah. Before midnight next Tuesday. But it's already open. Yeah, if you want to, you can submit, but or you can continue to work on it and see lah. I mean, and then submit later. But make sure you don't do it after past midnight or last minute, just before midnight next week. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I'm going to start now on document design. You can hear me better now, right? I think.
Yes.
Okay, good. Document design, right? Okay. Yeah. Document design and graphics. It should have been covered in week 10, but it is more related to your proposal report writing. Like I said, because it's 10 marks of your proposal report will be allocated to document design and the graphics. So we're going to see what you mean by designing the document. Basically what you, okay, let me go straight to it. Basically, a document that you write, right, the pages should be visually friendly. Then it's a good document design. Visually friendly. Like I said, content is one aspect. Yes, of course, the content, the information that you give, of course, must be accurate and so on. Not only that, but the language that you use to express that message, to give that content, the language also must be error-free lah. And on top of that, the way it is being presented and shown on the page, the way it looks on the page, should also be well done, effectively done. That is where designing comes in. So let me show you. Look at these two documents. Yeah, you can see, isn't it? If you notice, same title, because it's the same topic, same subject. In fact, if you look at the content word for word, it's the same. Exactly the same content. Yeah. But the question is, which one has a better document design? Which document is better designed here? Is well designed here? The first one or the second one? Which one is well designed? Definitely. Which one is more visually friendly in that sense? Visually, friendly, I mean, you know what is user friendly, isn't it? Easy to use. Visually friendly, easy to see, easy on the eyes, easy for you to read, right? And pick out and follow and understand the content. Right? So which one has a better document design? Definitely this one, the second one, as compared to the first one is not well designed, very poorly designed elements, because for a few reasons isn't it? Which you can see very clearly, isn't it? Can you observe some differences between these two, which makes the second one better? Some observations from any of you? How about does the writer, what elements that the writer used here to make it more visually friendly? What elements?
Numbering and figures.
Yes. You see, because it depends also on the context. This is more of instructions, isn't it? Find this, use this, dig a hole, plant the bush. These are all instructions of a procedure. Right? So in that case, to present a procedure or instruction, it's better to put it in the form of a list, numbered list, or maybe bulleted list also can, rather than writing it in this form. Can you see that? Right? Which is easier to follow. Definitely this one, right? So you're using a numbered list to present the content. What else besides numbering, numbered list? Besides putting in a list, what else? What other elements does it use? The writer use here to make it more clear, more well designed, to make this document more well designed. What else do you see here? You see pictures, isn't it? You see diagrams, right? So remember, we mentioned much earlier in the course, document writing, right, to present information as and when it is necessary and is suitable and is relevant. Use diagrams, use pictures, use visuals, not to decorate the page or to make it look so that the page looks attractive, but your diagrams should be there to help to make the content more clear, to help the reader to be able to explain, understand your content more easily, okay? Like for example here, okay? Maybe not so much the sun, but here I think this diagram is quite useful for point 4, because point 4 says plant the bush so that the top. This is talking about a rose bush, a tea rose is planting, how to plant the bush. Plant the bush so that the top of the root ball is exposed. Do not cover the root ball. So you see, with this explanation and the diagram, it's very clear, right? What he means here. Without the diagram, I think it's not so clear. So with the diagram, say, okay, root ball, the top part exposed, very clear, isn't it? Right? So they use illustrations, which none here. Use relevant illustrations to make it visually friendly so that it is well designed. What else? What else? Besides numbered lists, besides using illustrations that are relevant, what else do you notice between the two, which makes this better? Anyone? What do you observe? Would you like to read this as compared to this? Which looks more open? Definitely this one, right? Why? Because of the, look at the font. The lines also, right? There's more spacing. I think this may be double spacing and this single space, although it looks almost the same. But look at the font. Look at the font size. Look at the font type. It's a different font type here, isn't it? Yeah. So that's why use a more suitable font type and the font size, right, in your writing, so that the document is more clearly, more visually friendly. Yeah. So these are the things that you should look at. So that's why for your proposal writing, you keep all that in mind, right? Actually, designing a document is also refers to the layout of the document. Look at the layout, proper, more margin, more white space, and double spacing, definitely, because it's already stipulated in the requirement, double spacing. Some of you wrote your progress report in single spacing. Oh my goodness, so hard to read, right? But never mind, for progress report, no marks are allocated for document design. So, but for proposal report, you have to follow the requirement, double spacing, either Arial, Times New Roman, Helvetica, and size 12. Yeah, keep that in mind. So all that goes into, that is under typography, the type of font to use, the spacing, and so on. Okay, right. So we go on to, we go and look at one example. In fact, this topic under document design is covered in chapter 6 of your textbook, and this page 219 is in chapter 6. This example is found on page 219. A poorly designed document. Look at this document. Would you like to read that? I mean, the topic, the subject itself is boring enough. Some more presented in this form. This is very poor document design. A very poorly designed document. Don't you agree? I'm sure you would agree, right? Yeah? Can you give me some observation? Or how do you find this document? Why is it so poorly designed? Look at the margin. Hardly any margin. So you must give enough of margin space, white space, so that, you see, on the whole, it looks very what? Crowded, heavy, dense, cluttered, right? So that's why very poorly designed. So that's why how it appears on the page is also important when you're writing your documents. Not just the content. Of course, content is equally important. Language is equally important. So does the visual part of it. How it looks on every page is important. Yeah. So for example, in this case, these are some of the reasons why it's poor. No title, single spacing, difficult to read. Even in between paragraph, also no extra spacing, right? Lack of margin. The document looks very dense, very heavy, right? Lack of someone no heading, no subtitles, right? To for the organization to divide into sections, none at all. Let me see. This topic, this subject is actually on. Let's see if you can get to read through. The results for the recent cholesterol screening at our company were distributed. This is the actual introduction. Many employees wanted to know more about cholesterol in general, the different types, what the results mean, and the foods. So we hope the information provided below will help employees better understand their questions concerning cholesterol and our cholesterol screening program. So actually, this part is actually the introduction. Yeah, it actually explain to the reader what the whole article is about. It's about cholesterol, information, some facts, and info about cholesterol. Yeah, already it's a boring topic. Somehow write in this way, who's going to read? Yeah. And then besides this, let's see. Can you see the font types are being used and it's being changed, random font changes. Can you see some font changes here? Do you see? Font size also change, and for no reasons. You can change your font size actually for if you have a reason for a function for it. For example, subtitles or subheadings can have a larger font size, for example, right? And but there must be a reason, not random, not as and when you like to change, then you change. So in fact, there was one, I don't know from which class, your progress report. One paragraph was written with double spacing, and then the next paragraph forgot, and then written in single spacing. Most likely the reason why is because it's written by different writers lah. And then when you put together, it didn't really check through, look through. And one writer wrote in single spacing, the other writer wrote in the double spacing, and all within the same section, So please, look out for all this. Yeah, no random font change. It will confuse the readers unless there is a reason. Unless you highlight certain thing, highlight a certain point. Then you can change the font or maybe change the font size lah. Inconsistent use of italics and bold facing. Yeah, you can use. You see, italic. As you can see, italics appear on the page, but it's all over. I mean, it's random. No specific reason why suddenly this is italic, and then even bold facing. Suddenly there is a bold facing. You want to use bold facing or italics when you want to highlight certain points, make the points stand out, right? And it must be consistently used. Maybe you want to use italics for the subheading. Then all subheadings should be written italics, something like that. Consistent, right? Not as and when you like. Yeah. Oh, you feel like changing, you change. You feel like putting italics, you put italics. You feel like bold, putting bold, you put bold. That's not the way. Yeah. Okay. So this is a no. Now this on the next page is effectively the same thing. The same one that you look at just now. See how it should be written. See how much better it looks now, right? As compared to just now, this is the one, compared to this. Can you see? With proper, using the proper features and proper design elements, it looks so much better than this. So that's why you can see the importance of good document design, the importance of checking and taking care, make sure that your design, that the page looks good, that your article looks good on the page. Look visually, that's why visually, without even reading yet, it already looks good. Why? Because there are certain things that you have, the writer must take into account. For example, in this case, let's say that title, clear title, just now no title even, right? And what else? Double spacing, more readable. What else? Consistent use. The font is the one font, isn't it? Used consistently throughout the text. In fact, This is only page 1. Just now, the whole article appears on just one page. You know why the person wants to save page or what? But this actually, the same article is written now over 3 pages, with a better document design. Consistent use of one font, right? Unless, of course, if it's subheading, you can add in color if you want to also, right? But it must be consistent. Page is definitely not cluttered. Headings are in color. If you want, you can put headings in color or use larger font so that you can divide, you can show the sections very clearly. The organization is very clear and easy to follow. Yeah, easy to follow. Only keywords, and you want to use boldface can, but boldface is used where you want to highlight some keywords. For example, I think there's a boldface here, the word plug. This deposit is called plug. This is a terminology, right? So he highlighted and then he explained it. Right? And I think some other bold here, LDL, HDL, VLDL, something that the terminologies or terms that you want to highlight regarding cholesterol. Yeah. So yeah, and another page number, please. Remember to number your pages for your proposal. There are some progress report pages also not numbered. Forgot to number the pages. No, you have to number. Yeah, remember to number it. Okay, this is page 1. Then it goes on to page 2. Can you see, right? Everything very consistent, right? Still double spacing, consistent font, right? And so on. So let's see. Paragraphs are neither too long nor too short, right? Remember, in technical writing, we don't have to have long paragraph, but not too short either, right? Neither too long, too short. Their headings are consistent, right? Consistently formatted. Yeah, same size. If you want to use color, can, but don't have different color for different heading lah. We don't want a colorful document. So you can change the color if you want, but not necessarily lah. Or what you can do is you can enlarge the font slightly bigger, make it bold, and right. Space, there's additional space between sections. Yeah, if you write between paragraphs, add another increase the spacing, but consistently use between sections. Page number, right? Bold, another use of bold where it's consistently used for certain terms, right? Not all over the place. And don't overdone, don't have bold all over, only where it's relevant and where you want something to stand out. Yeah. And if you notice here, you see here is if there is a range of risk categories clearly shown in shaded box. So here he's actually explaining, there are 3 categories of risk cholesterol. For cholesterol, the cholesterol reading, if it's below 200, is considered minimal risk. If the reading is between 200 to 239, is moderate risk. If the reading is above 240, is considered high risk. So it's shown very clearly in a box like this. But just now, you know how it appears in the original text? Let's go back to the original text. This information is given here, it's given here. If you care to read through, you can see a total cholesterol reading of below 200 is considered safe. Continue what you have been doing if your reading falls in the moderate risk range of 200 to 239. So all this information is rewritten by the writer in the form of a box and presented so clearly like that, rather than in the paragraph. Yeah. So you see, as and when information should be more presented, especially do it facts and data, and statistics. Don't put it in the form of paragraph Yeah. Okay. So this is rewritten like this, so much more clearly. Right. Okay, then we go to page 3. The next thing continues. So one article actually covers 3 pages because it's properly written out like that. And then you see there's a list here. You have added a list, a numbered list. Double space helps reader to identify food with bad cholesterol. So in this revised version, this is put in the list. There's no list in the original form. That's here. The original form, this information is given somewhere here. You see in the paragraph here. Again, you can see what whole milk, foods that are high in bad cholesterol are whole milk, red meat, eggs, cheese, whole milk, red meat, eggs, cheese. You see, the information is presented here in the numbered list. Compared to this in the paragraph, is just run, especially, when you want to list a few things, don't put it in paragraph, put it easier like this, if you use, so that it's clearer and more, what do you call it, readable, yeah? Okay, so wherever it's relevant, wherever it's suitable, use this kind of, they call it, remember what we call this, using tables, using list. which you will be using, doing that in your proposal, especially when you're describing your activity, isn't it? Right, you want to write committee members and the responsibilities, or you want to write the program for under logistics. Don't write your program or your members' name and the responsibilities in paragraph form like this, right? In the form of table. Yeah. So and so on. Then the other things, examples, okay, so on. And then conclusion, right? Another heading here. And you see, it ended up with the bulleted list, serves as both conclusion and plan for the future. Actually, he ended up, besides the advice given above, you can do the following. So there are a few advice that are given here, few steps. Get regular exercise, eat food low in cholesterol, maintain a healthy weight, minimize stress, right? In addition to the active advice given, here are some other advice. So he rewrote it in the form of a bulleted list. As compared to the original text, if you look at the original text, this information is given here, You see, if you care to read through, it's all given here, listed here. Comma, and so difficult, isn't it? It doesn't minimize stress and so on. So learn relaxation techniques is all here, but it's written in a bulleted form is so much clearer. Yeah. Okay, so that's what you mean by using the proper elements or the right elements, like a list and so on, right? To ensure that your document design is effective. This is effective document design. Effective means it can reach the reader lah. The reader would want to read like that. Who wants to read, isn't it? Yeah. All right. So just a quick recap. So what are the things that you should look for in proper document design? We looked at page layout just now. Page layout. When you're doing a proposal, please check your layout, whether there are enough white space, right? And margins and so on. Typography refers to the font size, font style, and so on. List, captions, and so on. The font. Heads and subheads are headings and subheadings. How to signal how your document is going to be divided into different sections using headings and subheadings. Graphics, and so on. And color if you want to visually break up long segments of a paragraph, but not necessarily lah. Like I said, don't use a different color for different head. One heading, one color. No one. We don't want colorful, not for document writing. Yeah. If you want to add a color, use one color, consistent color for all subheadings. Things like that. Okay, so we have covered just now. This one is more on document design regarding the text, the way the text appears. You see just now how the text appears on the page. Now we look at how we use visuals appear on the page. Making use of visuals. We also have covered this earlier on, where we're talking about the type of visuals that you can use. And in fact, you have used some in your progress report also, right? Remember, you came out with a table for work allocation, and you came out and your early results, right? You show pie charts or bar graphs, right? To present your data, your primary data, right? So those are visuals. But what is important to keep in mind is visuals work in conjunction with your writing. What it means is your visuals table that you put up must complement your writing, your text. That means when you have a visual, there must be a paragraph or so to describe what the text is about. Visuals are not there to replace the text. It is there to complement your text, to make your writing, your explanation, your description clearer and easier to follow. Okay, so do not don't think that, I got a table there, I don't need to write anymore in paragraph. You have to at least a short description of what the table is about. Okay, so basically, like we said earlier on, there are only visuals are divided into two categories. They are called tables, means tables that's very clear. And the rest are called figures. Right? These figures refer to all these graph pie chart bar chart pictograph, map, photograph, drawing. These are all called figures. So when you label them, you call them figure 1, figure 2, not pie chart 1, bar graph 2, that kind of thing. They're all under figures. But if tables, they're just tables alone. Yeah, table 1, table 2. Okay, so this example of a table. So when you have tables, remember table number must be there, table title must be there. And then when you want to describe, you use to interpret the data, always get the reader to refer to the table as shown in table 8, blah, 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 blah. Don't say as shown in the pie chart above, or the bar graph below, or the graph on the left, graph on the right. You don't use the left or right. This number, that's why you need to be numbered with the title. But you don't have to mention the title here. Just refer to the table, then the reader will know which table you're talking about. Sometimes you can have 2 or 3 tables first, then only you write the paragraph. So in that case, that's why it's important to label it, so the reader know which table you're referring to, or which visual you're referring to. Okay. Like in your progress report, there's some who did, I got a number, who did not do that. You describe your schedule, your week completed, but there's one statement after I will show you, like in your progress report, that at least you say, please refer to figure 1, right? And then you start describing the content of that graph, right? Ask them, draw their attention to the table first before you start describing. Okay, so these are the others taken. Oh no, this is the Gantt chart that I think it's not in your textbook, that you use, that you have presented in your progress report. But if you want to show some kind of graphs or something, and it's taken from another source, from your reading, from your articles, you can use bar graphs from other sources, but please cite it just as like in text citation, right? And the full citation should come out in the reference list. If you use the graph, not your own data, but from the graph that is presented by some other sources. If you want to use, it's considered secondary data. Yeah. Okay, these are the others, right? Pictures as a photograph also can, so, but again, label. If you want to show a photograph of the venue of your activity, can, but remember, label it, label it as figure, and then give a short title, like of your day 1, whatever you want to use. And then, but don't just put the picture there and the title, and then in your text, there's nowhere in the text where you ask the reader to please refer to the figure. When you put the figure there, that means there must be a reason, right? There must be some explanation, right? So in your explanation, ask the reader, according to figure, or please refer to figure 1, or please refer to figure 1, which is the map of the location of our venue, things like that. Yeah. So, okay, finally, drawings. You can also have drawings as visuals, right? In this case, a plan of a house. This is called exploded drawing. I'm sure you're familiar with all this. They appear especially in manuals and so on. But I don't think you need to have this for your proposal. For you, if your proposal is more of tables for your committee members, for your program, for the day, for your costing, budget, use tables definitely. And some primary data you want to present, that means your pie chart on your bar graph. That's it. Yeah. Okay, recap. So what this is done already, document design. We've covered document design, right? Just now we're talking about the text, and then we talk about visuals, right? How it should be presented in your document. Okay. All right. There is a handout, but it's under week 10, guidelines for creating graphic aids. I think this was related to PowerPoint slide, if I'm not mistaken, but then you can refer to it, how to create graphic aids for your program, for your proposal report. Right, so that's it. We have come to the end, and any questions? Let me close this first. Okay, you are all here, right? Any questions so far? Are you clear? This is to help you in your proposal writing, so keep that in mind, your document design, how you present your visuals. Okay, like what I said just now, if you have no questions now, you can go back to your groups, right? Go back to your channels. We just meet for a short while, and then that's it for today, right? Meet up because I just want to show you, give you some feedback on your progress report, right? In your individual group. So we need to meet on video in your own groups. Yeah, then I will come into your video room, and then I will share screen with you your document, your progress report, that you can see more clearly. Then I can also explain more clearly instead of chatting. Is that okay with all of you? You know what to do, right? Is it okay? All right. So okay. Go to your visual, go to your channel and open your screen, or open your camera. Start your video session. I will come in one by one. You give me some time. I'll come in one by one. Once I'm done with your group, you all can go off already. Yeah. Okay, so we leave now. Yeah, we leave now.